Hi everyone, we're back with another boredom buster activity, and today we're going to be making wax seals. So I bet you're kind of like, why should I make a wax seal? Well, my answer is, why not? Okay, so I'm really obsessed with the, 19th century and backward stuff, and I just kind of love the idea of a wax seal. It kind of creates like this feel of like dramatic urgency, which I think is like really cool. Nicole's making a face, but it does, doesn't it? I mean, because like if you have the wax seal on there and like the idea is if the seal is broken, someone has tampered with your mail, which just kind of makes it sound like, I don't know, more dramatic, more like get this message across soon. I don't know. So I'm going to make one for you today. But first I'm going to write my note, and Nicole can pretend to be surprised, but I'm going to leave this on your car like a creep, I think, this week.
Oh boy, can't wait.
It'll be an invitation for you to join me in the living room to watch the Murdoch Mysteries.
I'll be there.
And what kind of drinks you can bring. Does that sound good? So this might be a cool idea for parents to do with their kids. Do you want to create a sense of drama and have them take out the garbage? You could like make a note and be like, you will be met at 8 a.m. by 2 men outside your door. Gather all the things you don't want, blah, blah, blah. And then maybe they can like keep doing it. I don't know. I don't have kids. You don't have to listen to me. But we're going to make this note for Nicole. Okay. We're going to use my fancy stationery. But if you want to even be more fancy, you can put your paper into like a blend of like leftover coffee or tea or something, and it can create like an aged effect. Now, before we get started, also, I want to add that if any children are watching this show, you must have your parent with you if you do this activity. If I hear any kind of crazy things, like kids are playing with matches without mom and dad's supervision, I'm going to be very upset. And I do have Santa's phone number, and I just became LinkedIn connected with the Easter Bunny, so I will call them. So please, parent supervision. So, okay, what I've already done is I've lit my candle, and you're going to need your old spoon and your crayon. So this might be maybe one you don't use too often or something like that. And then you're going to need your glue stick here. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the spoon over the flame so that it gets kind of hot.
Metal spoon, everyone.
Metal spoon, and also it should be one that you don't like that much because it's kind of hard to clean. Don't pull out grandma's fine silver, please. So this could be one that you've been, just thrown to the back of the drawer. So I like to do my glue first just because it takes a little bit longer to melt. I'm holding mine here, but what you can also do is you can cut it up and make it a little bit easier for you to break down. But I kind of like holding it because it helps me to stir it. When you're doing this, I think that you need a little bit more glue than crayon just because it gives you a better seal. And I did try this about 3 times, so I don't even think you used the whole crayon for it. But while I'm talking, or waiting I should say, I'm going to talk about the stamper that we used here. So you can use any kind of flat item like a button or a coin or whatever. But if Nicole will pan this way, I've used a wine cork so that I could have a gripper. And I've also used a button that my mom had randomly thrown in her sewing case because my brother came up to me and he's like, I think that's my suit jacket button from high school. And I was like, well, you don't need it anymore because you're definitely not in high school, so we're not going to worry about that. but I kind of just glued it into the cork there. And then if everyone's gonna watch next week, you can save the wine bottle from that cork there. Okay, so our glue is melted. I'm just gonna kind of put this to the side, and then you can start adding your crayon. This is going to melt, see, a lot faster. And so, like, all in all, it's kind of about half crayon, half glue. You just want to make sure that you kind of have like a slurry sort of mixture, but that it's also pourable as well. And some of this is, of course, too, trial and error. Okay, we have a pretty solid mixture there. And I did get one of these from my good friend for his wedding invitation, and I just thought it was like the nicest little touch to a thing. So you want to leave this to set just like a quick beat before you pour. And don't immediately, you know, I'm losing some of it. So this was a nice technique that they did in the Middle Ages just to kind of show like status and importance. And I even read that it was a replacement for people who could not sign their name. So that's kind of interesting. But you want to leave it like just to set for a minute, like real quick, kind of just watch it before you put your stamper in. And then you're going to, and this is why I think the cork makes it a little easier, because then you have like something to kind of grip, and then you're not poking around too much trying to get the stamper out. So that's just gonna take like a little bit to dry. Not too long though. And you can kind of see as you're watching it that the edges are starting to harden and everything. And also, it was also pointed out to me that this is a good alternative for letter sealing just in the coronavirus age, like, and we want to try to keep things like social distance sanitized and all that. And I don't know, maybe you want to start writing letters to your friends from school or whatever. So once that's kind of start to set, you're going to lift out your seal, and oh, look at that. Don't send it in the mail immediately. It still does have to dry a little bit on the side. But that is in essence how you create a wax seal, and I think it creates a nice little touch for your letters. So if you want to join us next week, we're going to be making luminary jars. So like I said before, if you had your wine bottle left, hang on to that. We're going to be decorating them next week, so that's like a nice recycled use for that. And I'll see you all next week. Next week's National Library Week, so don't forget. Bye-bye.